Hello, hello. It's been a hot minute since I've done a plan with me video, hasn't it? Welcome back to another video. This time it is a plan with me. I decided to record every time I planned in my planner on this particular week of September, and I'm using my new bookish stamp sticker sheet and my new bookish washi. How many bookish washi is too many bookish washi, guys? Because this is my third one. I think they're all a little bit different, so that's how I justified making a third one. But this one is like trinket shelf themed, and I really love how it turned out. It is a secret pride washi because all of the books are colored in different pride flags. So that's just a little Easter egg thing for you. Let's talk planners. So in my planner, this is the Take a Note A6 planner. I love it very much. This is my second year using this planner, and I have actually already pre-ordered my planner for next year. It is again another Take a Note planner, also the A6 size. I think it's just such a darling little size of a planner. I love it so much. And I love the layout. I love the 2 days per page layout. I think it's a little bit less stressful than a full day per page like the Hobonichi. I think that's a lot of space for me to fill out, and sometimes I just don't have that much to write. And it is also, if I want to write more, it feels like enough space at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's a whole week for a spread, then it feels like it's not quite enough space for all of the stuff I'd like to write. But yeah, I love this planner a lot, and I am using 2 fountain pens. I'm using my Lamy Safari fountain pen and my TWSBI Eco fountain pen. My Lamy Safari is currently filled with this beautiful gold brown, warm brown color called Teranishi Nostalgic Honey. My friend Annie got me a sample of it, and I love it so much. I feel like I need a full bottle of it. It's like the most perfect warm yellow color, and I love a color like this in my planner. And the TWSBI Eco is filled with my trusty Pilot Irishizuku Takesumi, which is their black ink color. I kind of yo-yo between wanting to use the black ink and the gray ink, but recently I've been very into the black ink. I feel like the gray ink has been a little bit too soft for me, but I think both look really beautiful. And I love my little planner. I think it's so cute. I've been really enjoying flipping through this thing, and for the most part I have kept up with journaling almost every single day, with a couple of weeks here and there where I've been kind of I've slacked on this planner. But overall, I think it's a really nice planner to kind of get back into after a couple days of not using it. You know, like a Hobonichi, I feel like I often would stop using it for a day or two, and then I would feel so stressed about wanting to backfill, and then it would be like too anxiety inducing to backfill, and then I wouldn't want to get back into it, and then I don't really know how to explain it. But I felt like the Hobonichi was more stressful for me to use compared to this planner, which feels very low stakes chill for me. But yeah, I really love it. And I thought I could yap a little bit about next year's planners. I have already ordered, like I said, my Take a Note A6 for next year. Next year's color, they change the cover color every year, and next year I think is like a slate color, greenish, brown, bluish color. I don't know if I love the new color, but it's fine. Like I really never see the cover because I usually keep my planner open on my desk. And I've also next year ordered the Traveler's Notebook inserts for my regular size Traveler's Notebook. I have ordered the weekly plus memo, the horizontal weekly plus memo 2026 notebook set. And I'm really excited about it. So the reason I'm doing that is because I have been really itching to start a craft hobby planner. I really want a notebook that I can use to kind of journal how much crafting I'm doing, what hobbies I'm engaging in, what video game I'm playing, what yarns I'm using for my various little knitting and crochet projects, stuff like that. And I find that I really respond well to a structured planner in comparison to like a blank notebook. I find it much easier to just fill in the little sections for the day as opposed to having a fully blank notebook, which feels a lot more daunting to me. So I'm really excited. I think that the memo side of the layout will be really nice for writing out little book reading reviews and for keeping track of my knitting projects. And then in the little like weekly section, I can write out like what I worked on or what video game I played and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited. This is gonna be the first time I think in a really long time where I've used more than one planner. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. I did think about getting a Hobonichi Weeks actually to use as my hobby planner, and I will maybe think about that for 2027, depending on how well my Midori traveler's notebook stuff turns out. But I'm really excited. I've had a traveler's notebook. I've had two. I have the regular and the passport size, and I've had them for many years, but they've kind of gotten abandoned over the past few years, so I'm excited to use them again. But yeah, I also thought I would yap a little bit about what books I've been reading, because I am back in my reading kick. I have started to track this year all of the books I've been reading in my planner on the back of my take a note. There's like 2 or 3 pages of blank graph paper, and I've been using it to track every book I've read and the whether or not I DNF'd it, because there have been a couple DNF books, which means did not finish, and I've also tracked my impression of them. So, which is why I've been like really wanting to start a hobby planner, because I am running out of space in these last couple of pages for all the books I've read. And I'm really proud of myself because I go through like phases of really wanting to read a lot and then not wanting to read at all. And every time I go through a not wanting to read phase, I feel very like lost about my reading girl identity. But with all of it all listed out, it feels really good to like be able to see so many spreads full of just little notes of books that I've read. But the last 2 books that I've read I really wanted to talk about. So after a little bit of a hiatus in reading, I picked up The Spell Shop, which is by Sarah Beth Durst, and it's a really cute little fantasy story about a librarian and her sentient plant friend, which at first I thought would be hard to get into. She works in this library that collects magical books, and there is a revolution that happens in the city where she works, and so she needs to run away. She needs to hide because they're doing, a big library burning and all that stuff. So she rescues as many books as she possibly can, just her and her plant friend, and they run away to a very small remote island, which happens to be the island where she grew up and left when she was very young. And originally she plans on not engaging at all with the island folk, but then, becomes part of the community. And it's just a really lovely, heartwarming story about books and friendship and community, like communities gathering together for a greater purpose. And it was so fun to read, and it also felt very cottagecore. It is like technically an island, but it felt so cottagecore. In order to like make a living, she starts a jam shop, which is so cute. She makes a little jam shop that she sells jam out of, along with different little spells, because she does start to read some of her magic books, even though originally she's technically not allowed to do that. But yeah, there's no spoilers in that, I think. It's very lovely, and I really recommend it. I had a lot of fun reading it. I gave it 3.5 stars, which is a pretty like above average book for me. And then the next book that I read is Butter. Butter is by Asako Yuzuki and is a translated Japanese fiction book. It was quite popular for a while, I think, maybe last year or the year before. I'm not quite sure. But it had no wait time at my library for the digital ebook version, which is why I picked it up, because I have a lot of books on hold and none of them are ready for me to read. So yeah, it's a book about food and it's a book about murder, which I didn't really know if I was going to get into because I typically don't really read stories like that. I typically am much more of like a fantasy fiction reader than a murder fiction reader. I don't know what the right terminology is, but it follows this journalist who wants to interview this woman who is currently in jail. And this woman is in jail because all of her paramours have mysteriously died. All of them, as in 3 men, have mysteriously died. And she's become the talk of the town of I think, Tokyo, because she is, yeah, it is Tokyo, because she is, quote unquote, not amazingly beautiful or anything. So people are very interested in understanding why all of these men were so smitten with her. And this journalist tries to interview her, but she is unwilling to talk about these men. She only wants to talk about food. And it ends up being a very big exploration of the culture around food and the culture around misogyny and fat phobia in Japan. And not so much about murder, but apparently the murder part of the story is inspired by a real life woman. So that was very interesting. I did not know that at first when I went into the book. I looked it up afterwards. But yeah, I actually have a little bit of history with issues around eating, and those issues have kind of reared its ugly little head recently. So reading this book was actually very kind of interesting and therapeutic. To read so many pages about how good butter tastes and how incredible food is and how much joy it brings these women and the journalist and the journalist's friend and stuff like that. So it was a really fun time, actually. I was not expecting it, but I really enjoyed reading it and I gave it a 4 stars. Let me know what books you've been reading. I still need to get back into catabasis because I have it and I have not read more than what I vlogged a little bit ago. But I would really like to get into that book and finish it because I know I will get into it the minute I actually properly sit down and read it. I don't really have much more that I have planned for reading, but I'm sure more books will come up in my library. And this fall, I am planning on doing a lot of knitting and a lot of yarn crafting. So I'm very excited about that. Let me know if I should make fiber arts themed stickers and washi. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this little plan with me. I hope that it was fun. I hope you enjoyed listening to me yap, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you for being part of my cozy little space. Bye, friends.